Welcome to Blowing Solutions Wide Open, where we're talking about all things spiritual, as well as creating new systems in the area of finance, government, healthcare, education, new environmental practices, and anything that helps the planet or helps humanity. My name is Addie Halkin. If you think that you have ideas or things to share in any of those areas, please feel free to email me at blowingsolutionswideopen@gmail.com or type the word guest in the comment section of this video, and I'll get back to you and potentially have you come on here and share with people what you know. Also, please like, share, comment, and subscribe if you want to see more content or you have an interest in getting alternative information out to more people. Today, I want to share with you something that's really come to light. I feel like I've gotten a ton of clarity on this subject over the last month. It has to do with our current political climate. I know that's not a very fun subject, but I really want to share kind of what's come through for me. And, I want to, say that first and foremost, I am well aware of what's going on, at least from the perspective of people involved with ICE and all these concentration camps or whatever they are, and all the tearing up of humanity. I'm aware. Um, this message is by no means supporting any of that, but I do want to share with you some of the things that have come through because I think that having a little bit more of a big picture understanding of what's going on is going to help us in the end. So first of all, I want to read to you a message that I received coming out of sleep. Now, this was in November, just slightly after Trump had been elected. And it was, sometimes this happens with me when I'm in that half awake, half asleep state. I will hear messages or see things. And for this one, I heard Trump is and then it was a word that I can't remember. I know it started with an S. I think it might have been the word scoundrel, which is kind of a funny old word, but whatever it was, it meant a troublemaker. And I also heard that he was chosen for this position because he is the most willing to go against the grain. So now that I've really kind of gotten a lot of clarity on what's going on, I understand that message better. And what I'll say is that here's the thing. When we come into our lifetimes, we take on soul contracts. So a soul contract, in my opinion, just has to do with kind of what you agree to do. You kind of make an agreement with yourself on what you're going to do by going into this lifetime. So it may be like a project you're working on. It may be self-development. It may be learning certain lessons, helping other people, on and on. And so I believe Trump took on quite a large contract in this lifetime. I can tell you from an intuitive standpoint, I have always, or for many years, been aware of that Trump is a very lower dimensional soul. I believe he's most likely from the first dimension. Earth has been operating on a 3D level, three-dimensional level for a long time. I don't think first or second or third are very high dimensions. But somebody who's operating on a first dimensional level, and when I speak of dimension, I mean like, your level of awareness, your level of, how connected you are to your soul, how high your frequency is, how high your energy is. And so a first dimensional soul is kind of operating in a lot of darkness. They're often very sociopathic. They're often, capable of things that most of us could never do to other people. And so, a first dimensional soul would look at a third dimensional existence and think, man, that looks good because the higher the dimension that you're operating in, the better you feel. And so these lower dimensionals don't feel very good and they're looking to feel better, and they, in my opinion, have the hardest time ascending. They have the hardest time moving up because they're in a lot of darkness and they're in a lot of suppression. And so I believe Trump, from his one-dimensional place that he's existing in, decided that he wanted to he wanted to get into a higher dimension. I think he took on a contract that was big and that most people didn't want to take on. And I have to say when I watch Trump, I'm very empathic. And so when I watch Trump, I kind of curl up like I feel my energy doing this. If you could see what I see, his energy's not fully in his body. It's kind of in his body in a sideways manner. It's almost like an imposter, somebody trying to play that they're a human, but they're really not a human. And so I can only just speak to what I experience when I witness him and when I feel his vibration. Um, and so, anyhow, I think he wanted to move up and he took on this contract. And I believe the contract he took on had a lot to do with collapsing certain systems on the planet. Nobody wanted to do that. It's a tough job. It's a big job. And so he took that on. Now, I'm not delusional. I'm well aware that he did not take this contract on to help humanity. Um, he took this contract. I can't speak to his motives completely, but what it seems to me is that um, he's delusional enough to think that if he collapses the systems, he'll be able to, control everybody and get all the money and get all the power and all these things. It's not going to happen. But I do think that he came in here to collapse the systems on the planet. Um, I think he's going to be allowed to do that. I sense that he won't leave until he completes that. I don't know all that, of what that entails. It does appear to be obviously the governmental system. He's in the process of dismantling as well as the financial system. Um, Here's the thing. While he doesn't have good intentions with what he's doing, ultimately, this is going to lead to something very good for us, very good for humanity, because these systems are built on very faulty foundations. They've been harming humanity since before any of us got here. And so they needed to be collapsed. And it's kind of fitting that a sociopath would do that. Most people, are far too, they're not going to go against the grain to that extent. Again, I'm not here to condone it, but I do think big picture, this is what's going on. He's the one that's going to collapse things. And at that point, once he does what he does, everybody's going to be flipping out and they're going to be upset. And in a lot of cases, rightfully so. But what I believe will happen is that once these things are collapsed, once, they're collapsed to the point of no return, we're going to start to realize that we're almost like free. We're free to create something new and better for humanity. And at that point, it's going to help people's energy and their frequency and their awareness to rise even higher, to ascend even higher. And when that starts to happen, when more and more people start to wake up and ascend and move to higher levels, a Donald Trump and those who are, resonating with him and at that energetic frequency, they're not going to be able to maintain themselves here. Like attracts like, and if energies get too far apart from each other, they can't coexist anymore. And so, whether it's, somebody takes care of it or, Trump just passes away by natural causes, whatever it is, I don't think he's going to be able to stay anymore. So I think he came here to complete this project or task. And he will most likely be able to stay as long as it takes for him to do that. And then at that point, um, you know, he goes away, we move forward. And I know that, the process is tough. It's tough what we're going through. A lot of people are comparing it to the Hitler era. I can certainly understand why, it may even be a case of Hitler incarnate. But the thing is that even back then we were much less ascended as a humanity. We were much less aware. Our frequencies were lower on average, and we still eventually prevailed. Hitler eventually went away. We ascended, we got through that. I know a lot of harm was done, but given the fact that we could get through it then, and we're at a much better place in regards to what the average frequency is on the planet, where people are at, you know, how connected we are. I think that we're going to be much more capable of getting through these kind of dark days and these dark things that are going on. I think we're going to get through them much quicker this time. And so I just wanted to put that out there because it looks like doom and gloom. I get it. It looks terrible. And I understand anybody being upset about it, but if you can kind of take a step back when you start feeling yourself being angry or saddened or scared or hopeless, if you could take a step back and kind of take in what I just said. I'm not coming from a place of I sat down and analyzed it and thought, well, this makes the most sense. Like, I'm not coming from any of the human mind stuff on this. I'm coming from like, I don't know, it just like this awareness just dropped in and it's just getting more and more illuminated, and it's very strong. Like, I'm not, you know, making this up. It's just, it's a very strong awareness that I feel. I can feel the current of it. I can feel, you know, I don't know details. I don't ever put out dates. I think that's ridiculous. But I do know that this is the direction that we're headed right now. And while it's painful, while it's tough, I certainly would never ask anybody to condone what's going on. You know, these abusive leaderships have got to go eventually. And they're all tied up in these systems. The systems that they've created on this planet have fed our corrupt leadership so much power, and they need to collapse. There's no doubt about it. You know, it's not just this administration. It's just this one's the worst. This one's showing us how how terrible those controlling everything really are, because they are the direct reflection of what's been controlling our planet since before any of us got here. I'm not kidding about that. You know, those trillionaires behind the scenes are pretty low dimensional human beings. They're pretty dark. And it's high time that they don't have their way anymore. So just do your best to not feed into the negativity right now, because that makes Trump and his cronies stronger. They feed off negative emotion. And just again, wait and see. There's something bigger at play here. I promise you that. So anyway, if you have other ideas about what's going on, love to hear about it. Or if you want to talk spirituality or creating new systems, that's even better. Email me at blowingsolutionswideopen@gmail.com. Also, please press the like, share, subscribe buttons. Thank you for watching. Catch you on the next video. Take care.